By Comerica Park, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Jeep, visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Lean Cuisine, Stouffer's entrees and Hot Pockets Stouffer's. Freshly made, simply frozen. It's a Monday evening in Baltimore, and the Tigers and O's will get going, just not quite yet. It's certainly been a rather unusual day. It was sunny and warm, muggy most of the day, steamy, if you will, and then all of a sudden the grounds crew here made the decision to put the tarp on the field, and we thought, what in the world are they thinking? Well, it turns out they were thinking absolutely correctly, because there was a short downpour, and that has pushed the start of tonight's game back to 7:35. So plan accordingly. Tigers and Orioles will get started at 7:35. Mario and Rod calling the game for you. John Keating here in the interim. Let's talk a little bit about an intriguing matchup between Miguel Cabrera and this Baltimore Orioles pitching staff. And we're seeing, as everybody expected, although some people were a little concerned about it, that Miguel Cabrera is, after all, Miguel Cabrera.
No, you weren't concerned, were you?
I will say I was a touch concerned.
You know, when you start looking at the Baltimore Orioles, they really have not had great pitching staffs here the last number of years since Miguel Cabrera has come to the big leagues. And Miguel is truly one of the best hitters on the planet. As a matter of fact, last year, Buck Showalter, their manager, told his players on the bench, you might be seeing one of the best hitters of all time, so pay attention to what he does in that batter's box. .395 career against the Baltimore Orioles with 17 big flies, 47 RBIs, and the OPS, the on-base slugging percentage, simply off the charts. But Miguel has numbers like this against a lot of the opponents that he's gone up against in his 10-year career.
For many people, it will be a sigh of relief, I guess, when you get north of 300. I'm not sure that's the case with Miguel Cabrera, because we've known he was headed there, and he's inched right up. He's at 291 for the season based on a terrific month of May.
Well, 350 is more the number for Miguel Cabrera. You take a look at his March and his April. He was slowed down just a little bit. He was leaving the strike zone quite often. He was rolling over a lot. Wasn't really getting a lot of really good pitches to hit. But as Miggy started to pretty much take what pitchers were giving him, the singles the opposite way, the singles up the middle, and as Victor Martinez right behind him started to heat up as well, Miggy started getting better pitches to hit and started doing more damage. And it's really a trickle-down effect with Miggy. As he goes, the entire roster goes.
We're told by an ad campaign that chicks dig the long ball, and we're going to get the chance to see two prolific hitters in this series. Just off the DL is Chris Davis, as the Orioles place Matt Wieters on it, but Chris Davis gives Baltimore exactly what the Tigers get from Miguel Cabrera.
Well, he was legit last year, and he prevented Miguel Cabrera from winning his second consecutive Triple Crown. You got to give it up for Davis. Over 50 doubles. He hit a ton of homers. He drove in a boatload of runs, 286 batting average, which ranked 21st in the American League, but that's not where his bread is buttered. He's a power guy. He's a physical guy. He doesn't strike out nearly as much as he did when he was wearing the Texas Rangers uniform. Buck Showalter also gave him an opportunity to play every single day back in 2012 and then 2013. These are the numbers that he puts up. Well, Miguel, those numbers on the left, those are numbers that he puts up every single year. He's just that special.
Especially at the start of a series, not that they can do anything about it. How much does a rain delay sort of get everybody to sort of take a step back, because your adrenaline is surging for game time, and not quite so fast?
You know, not so much today, John. I think this one was pretty cool, because the fact of the matter is they put it on about 30 minutes prior to the game, so Porcello didn't have to get up. He didn't have to stretch. Norris didn't have to do so. They're out doing that now, so it's pretty much their regular flow right now.
It will take more than a rain shower, it would seem, to slow down Rick Porcello these days, because the kid has been on an absolute run. He's won 5 straight starts. Can the Orioles be his 6th victory in a row? We'll talk more about his progression next.
Tarp is off the field. The skies have cleared hopefully for the rest of the evening, and we will have baseball tonight. The Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles beginning what will be a 3-game series here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Tigers and Orioles already have met 3 times this year. Tigers winning a couple of those games back in early April. That was at Comerica Park. This, of course, here in Baltimore, which is much more hitter-friendly. And, of course, Miguel Cabrera loves to see that. We'll see how big Miggy's bat is here tonight. Baseball when we come back. The Tigers and O's, game 1 of this series from Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
Job is pitched. Joe scuffled out of the gates, but has recovered. And I think we've settled that part, not completely, but for the most, generally, we've kind of settled where guys are going to pitch in the game coming out of the bullpen.
And they have a better idea how you want them to play 5-6 weeks later.
Yeah, that's part of the maturation process of a team and a coaching staff and a new manager with the players. So, a lot of times I think those guys have learned over the course of the first month or 5-6 weeks that in this type of game, in this inning, you're probably going to be up.
We're starting to come together. Obviously our starting pitching is what carries us. And you get a feel for how the team's going to play out. We've got a lot more speed, a lot more aggressiveness, and it's a good group of guys to go out there and compete with.
Brad Osmus, Don Kelly, and their thoughts on how the Tigers have performed so far as we get deeper into the month of May. The Tigers check in tonight at 21-12. We welcome you back to Oriole Park here at Camden Yards, and let's meet the Tigers starting lineup tonight, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Detroit, Ian Kinsler leads it off. He'll play second base, followed by Torrey Hunter and Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez, your DH, is cleaning up. Austin Jackson in center field. Nick Castellanos at third base. Bottom 3 tonight of Avila, Romine, and Rajay Davis. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Bud Norris.
And Bud Norris, who started the season last year in Houston, came over to the Baltimore Orioles at the trade deadline 2-2 with a 3.82 ERA. He struggles in this ballpark, does not have good numbers. He has a fastball to top out at 96, slider, changeup, cutter, curveball, the remainder of his arsenal. Let's take a look at the Baltimore Orioles starting defense, and it is brought to you by Tim Hortons. Cruz, Jones, Markakis in the outfield. Jones with 3 Gold Gloves. Machado at third. Hardy, they've also won Gold Gloves. Schoop is a Scope over at second base, and Davis at first base, and Clevenger is a catcher.
Well, we are just about ready for baseball. The last time we played these guys, Rod, that guy was not on the field. He is now.
Special talent. We talked about the fact that he won a Gold Glove last year at third base. It's not even his natural position. Not only did he win a Gold Glove, he won a Platinum Glove, which went to the best defender in either league.
Manny Machado, certainly a big part of their lineup, is anchored at third base here tonight. Well, the rain has gone away. That is the good news. And the Tigers starting a 3-game series here. This will be a road trip that will take them through Baltimore, Boston, and then eventually Cleveland. So this will be a month of May in which the Tigers will spend a good portion of the month on the road. Ian Kinsler is starting things off for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera. We are happy to have you with us here tonight. The Tigers at 21-12. The Orioles in first place in the East at 20-15. So a battle of 2 first-place clubs here at Camden Yards tonight. Bud Norris ready to go to work. Ian Kinsler batting .307. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Kinsler.
And very first pitch of the game, Scope, their second baseman, he is right behind second base. Apparently the scouting report they have on Ian is one that tells them he pulls the ball on the ground.
He did that time right at Machado. And the easy toss across the diamond. Kinsler is out, 1 away. First ground ball of the night for Bud Norris. That'll bring up Torrey Hunter in the 2 spot tonight for the Tigers.
One of the things that they've tried to encourage Bud Norris into doing, his fastball will get up to about 95, but he pitches probably around 93. But his off-speed pitches, they only go down to 87. They want more differential in speeds if he's going to have success in this league, in the American League East. You got to have that 10-mile-per-hour differential off-speed pitches to your fastballs.
Hunter is batting .305 with 4 home runs.
It looks like he's going to try to pitch the Tigers aggressively inside with that 95-mile-per-hour fastball here tonight.
Torrey also with 20 driven in this year. Norris with the 1-0. That's hit hard back up the middle, and Scope had him played perfectly. 2 up, 2 down, couple of ground ball outs. So far, the scouting report has been dead on.
They can't put nobody in those seats out in left field right now, though.
No, they can't. Here comes Cabrera. Miggy batting .291. This season against the Orioles, he had a really good 3-game series against the O's back at Comerica. 6 for 13 with a home run.
Now, this is 3 batters into the game, and the Baltimore Orioles have shifted on all 3 of the Tigers hitters. Scope, their second baseman, is on the left field side of second base again.
They are shifting as much as the Astros were shifting on the recent homestand in Detroit.
They're going to give the Astros a run for their money.
There's a ball outside to Cabrera.
Buck Showalter said last year, he told his team, when Miguel Cabrera comes to the plate, I want you hitters to watch him. And I want you pitchers to watch him too. You're watching greatness. This is one of the best hitters of all time. And you could probably learn something from him.
Showalter in his 5th season as the skipper of the Orioles.
Good manager, good baseball man. I worked for him in Arizona.
A couple of years ago, they won 93 games here in Baltimore under Showalter. Miggy steps out. He's ahead of the count. 2 balls, no strikes on Norris.
A dangerous count here for Norris if he tries to bully Miggy with a fastball.
Make it 2-1 now on Miguel.
Nice little 86-mile-per-hour slider there by Norris.
Cabrera's 29 RBIs are good for 5th in the American League, so he's starting to climb some charts now after a slow month of April by his standards. And over his last 17 games, he's knocked in 22, so his bat is heating up. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Miguel Cabrera.
Jim Presley, who is the hitting coach right now for Buck Showalter, he was also the hitting coach when Miguel Cabrera was just a youngster. When he was playing for the Florida Marlins. They are now the Miami Marlins.
Miggy way ahead of the count, 3-1. Norris ready. And it's flared in the air. Right side of the infield. Scope going back to the grass. They retire Cabrera, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Here come the Orioles. Here come the Orioles now as we go to the bottom of the first. They will face Rick Porcello, and he is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
No reason for Porcello to change a thing here tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. 6 starts this season. He's won 5. He's off to his best start in the 5 years he's been in the big leagues. Good fastballs up to 95. Great sinker balls at the bottom of the zone. Nice changeups. Good curveballs, keeping hitters off balance.
Here's the starting lineup he will face tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Nick Markakis, the red-hot Markakis, leading it off. Then Machado and Davis, who came off the DL yesterday, was 2 for 4. Jones and Cruz also in the middle of the lineup with J.J. Hardy. And a bottom 3 of Clevenger, Young, and Scope. Matt Wieters, their fine catcher, has been placed on the disabled list, so he will not play in this series.
That's a big chunk for them. He's their leader on the field. He's their catcher. He was having a great offensive season.
Here is Nick Markakis, who is .429 career against Porcello. 18-game hitting streak for Markakis. And he takes strike 1 right at the knees.
One of the reasons Markakis has success against Porcello, he does not try to pull that sinker ball that's fading down and away from him. He'll simply take that ball the opposite way, right between Castellanos and Romine here tonight.
Tried to get out of the way of that one, and the count goes 0-2. Here are the numbers during that streak. At 356 mark, he has the longest streak in the American League this year.
Not trying to hit for power. And last year he said he got caught trying to hit for power, watching Davis, watching Adam Jones. Kind of got away from himself, got away from his game, but he's back to using foul line to foul line these days, and he's off to a really good start in 2014.
Some of the longer streaks this year. Alexi Ramirez had a 17-gamer for the White Sox. Torrey Hunter a 13-gamer. But Markakis right now with the longest in the AL at 18, and it's still alive. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Andrew Romine gobbles it up. And Markakis is out, 1 gone.
While we have a moment here, let's set the Tigers' defensive alignment behind Porcello this evening. You know Romine is at shortstop. His double play confidant on the other side is Ian Kinsler. You have Castellanos and Miggy on the corners. Davis, Jackson, and T. Hunter in the outfield. And Alex is the catcher here today.
So here's Manny Machado, who spent time on the disabled list this year. Did not play in that first series against Detroit. Had a torn ligament in his left leg, and he had surgery. This kid had 51 doubles last year, leading the American League, and he looks at ball 1.
He's awfully special. He's got size. He's got grace. He can hit. He can play some defense. And above the shoulders, very, very smart.
Chopper hit to the second baseman right there for an easy hop as Kinsler. And a couple of ground ball outs. Good sign for Rick Porcello. The Bernstein advantage now brings you the pitcher-batter matchup between Porcello and Adam Jones.
Pretty good numbers against Adam Jones. A 143 batting average, 3 for 21 with 6 strikeouts, and Jones is also grounded into a double play. Jones has been hot, however, 7 for his last 21 with 5 ribbies.
264 for Jones. He's hit 4 home runs. Solid 6-game streak going, and he looks at ball 1.
He's a 5-tool player. He's got power. He can hit for average. He's got some speed. He wins Gold Gloves, and he's got a great throwing arm. He gets a lot of assists. That's the definition of a 5-tool player in this game.
Porcello ready with the 1-1. Here it is. Another ground ball. This one deep to third. Long gun by Castellanos, and a pick at first for the out.
Nice, Miggy.
Castellanos setting himself and firing a one-hopper to Miguel Cabrera, who scooped it nicely. And now here comes Buck Showalter.
At least he runs out.
And we're going to see if he wants to challenge this play. And, well, he gets back to that old argument. Do you challenge a play with 2 outs, nobody on in the first? I guess when you have Chris Davis on deck, you might think about it. Bob Davidson, the veteran umpire at first base, made that call. And that's going to be that. So Buck says, all right, I'll deal with it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. One in the books here in Baltimore. Still no score. Way around, a deep ground ball to third base. Castellanos threw a one-hopper to Cabrera, who did a nice job.
Good pitch by Porcello to start it off. It was a breaking ball away from Adam Jones, and he pulled it right to Markakis, and a nice pick by Miguel Cabrera. And they got the call from the first base umpire, Bob Davidson, clearly out at first base.
So we've had 6 batters, 5 ground ball outs between the 2 pitchers in this game.
We're going to see a lot of that here tonight. Bud Norris also has a real nice sinker on that 94-95 mile-per-hour heater that he features.
Here's Victor Martinez to start things off, and he looks at ball 1 from Norris. Victor at .325, the Tigers Player of the Month in April, and his career numbers also very solid over the years against the Orioles. .305. 8 home runs this year for Martinez, so he is well ahead of the pace of last year.
When Martinez hit the free agent market a few years ago before he decided to sign with the Tigers, it was the Baltimore Orioles that really wanted Victor. Buck Showalter loved the way that Victor Martinez played the game. And how could you not?
Martinez this year is on pace for well over 30 home runs, the most that he has hit in a season. 25 with Cleveland back in 2007. Victor with 8 so far this year. Starting things off here in the second, Martinez, Jackson, and Castellanos facing Bud Norris. Whistle foul down the left field line.
Here's where Victor Martinez ranks in the American League. Second in slugging percentage, OPS third, that .325 batting average good for 4th in the top 10, and he's already hit 8 big flies.
Again, Victor goes the other way, and they are playing him to pull with the second baseman scoped to the outfield grass. And quite a bit into the outfield grass.
4 batters in, 4 shifts on the Tigers hitters.
There's Jackson waiting on deck.
The Jackson's one guy I really haven't seen a shift on all year.
It's in the air toward right field. Markakis on the move. Well, 4 up, 4 down against Norris to start this game. 1 gone. That'll bring up Jackson. Austin among one of the more hotter hitters the Tigers have had this year. He's batting .301 right now, but of late a 9-game hitting streak, and again a good series against the Orioles when they met back in April. 5 for 13 with a double. And AJ looks at a strike on the inside part of the plate.
There's Bobby Dickerson right there. He's the one that's handling all the defenders. He's moving guys left. He's moving guys right. Moving guys into the outfield.
Backed him out of there. Here are the charts.
It's gotten to the point now where the coaches really can't even watch the game. And they're so busy looking at the notes and where to move guys and whatnot.
What was that with the Astros? Was that Listash?
That was Listash, Pat Listash.
And then he had his nose buried in book, and he foul tipped that one into the glove. 1-2 the count. Pretty conventional defensive alignment against Jackson compared to the others. Here's the 1-2. Got him. Strike 3 on the inside part of the plate.
You can't make a better pitch than Bud Norris made right there. And he's already shown the Tigers hitters that he is going to pitch inside aggressively. This is 95 with a little late life on it. That's a tough pitch to hit.
They've been a touch inside. Jackson thought so. Fox Tracks thought it was a touch in. 5 in a row retired by Norris. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos. And he looks at strike 1 off speed. For Nick, 7 hits on the recently completed homestand.
One of the first series of the year, the Tigers went up against the Baltimore Orioles, and they gave Castellanos a steady diet of breaking balls, and they have continued that pattern here today. First 2 pitches thrown by Norris, 2 curveballs to Nick.
Now Norris has him set up 0-2. Down he goes. Struck him out on 3 pitches, and it's the second strikeout of the game for Norris. Another 1-2-3 inning.
Worth and his wife Bree are expecting their first child in July, but they're not together as a couple right now because Bree went home to California for a reason. She was selected to be one of the pregnant women on the Ellen Show in a Mother's Day special. Bree informs us that she applied online more than 100 times. Each pregnant lady was given $6,000 worth of stuff, including 6 months of diapers and a new bed that they'll give to one of their folks. But Danny Worth was telling the story. Of course, everybody on Ellen has to dance, so you had several hundred pregnant women dancing all at once, and Breworth was among them. Mario, Ron?
All right, Keats. Well, Danny Worth better get his sleep now. If once July rolls around, he won't be getting too much of it. Chris Davis leading it off.
He'll be able to keep his meal money, though. Ellen gave him $6,000.
Davis, Cruz, and Hardy, and it's skied in the air toward left, slicing though. And we'll get back into the seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. That meal money, you know, in the big leagues, it's an awfully good deal. It's a really good deal.
You can get fluffy if you don't watch it.
There's the shift that they have on Chris Davis.
This is the first shift the Tigers have employed here this evening.
Davis, 13 RBIs. And he skies this one in the air to center field. Backing up is Jackson. Fairly deep playable, though. And A.J. makes the catch. 1 gone. The 4th straight retired by Porcello. Rick in this ballpark has not had the best of luck. And so he is hoping to turn things around. And he pitched really well against the Orioles the first time he faced him this year. That, though, was at Comerica Park. Camden Yards, an ERA of over 5, and looking for his first win here. The ball outside to Nelson Cruz. Free agent signee right, well, toward the end of the offseason. Late February they signed Cruz, and he cuts and misses.
He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Hit the free agent market last offseason, but there were no takers. And so he finally decided on a 1-year deal to come and play for the Baltimore Orioles, and then hit the free agent market again after this year's over.
Hit hard right at the shortstop, Romine.
Oh, that ball was smoked.
2 up, 2 down. 5 in a row retired by Porcello. Do you think, whether it's Porcello or anybody else, when they come to this ballpark, knowing how the ball flies here, they maybe change a little bit?
I think there's a conscious effort of overemphasizing the fact that this is a really pitcher-friendly ballpark, and you don't try to make mistakes. And when you don't try to make mistakes, that's when you make mistakes with your breaking ball and your changeups. Hitter-friendly, I meant to say.
J.J. Hardy bats with 2 outs. .265 batting average. 1 ball, 1 strike.
J.J. Hardy was the starting shortstop in the All-Star game last year. Won his 2nd Gold Glove. He also won a Silver Slugger. He's a really good shortstop.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, talks about J.J. Hardy. I'll bet if you polled most people on the street and said who started the All-Star game at short last year for the American League, how many could name J.J. Hardy?
Great point. It's a great point.
Nobody just talks about him.
He got lost in the shuffle last year with Davis here, Machado, Jones in center field. But he's steady. Look at him.
That looks like a gap shot there. Hunter will play it on a hop. And Hardy's going to hold with a single. Touring got to that ball pretty quickly. It's a 2-out base hit for J.J. Hardy. That'll bring up Steve Clevenger. So Matt Wieters on the disabled list. The Orioles trying to figure out what to do with their catching position. Clevenger getting the start here tonight, but they clearly have been in talks with other teams exploring options, and perhaps picking up a catcher. Clevenger fouls it back out of play.
They say that Clevenger is known more for his bat than his leadership skills behind the plate. They miss him, though, boy, and they're going to miss him.
Wieters with an elbow problem on the disabled list, so as soon as they get Davis and Machado back, Wieters goes on the DL. Still a very deep lineup, though, for the Orioles. The 0-1. 0-2 on Clevenger. .262 batting average. He has certainly done his time in the minor leagues, parts of 8 seasons in the minors.
Matt Wieters will travel with the Baltimore Orioles. That's how fond Buck Showalter is of him, and he also wants him to lead the very young catchers they have on their current roster. He can't play, but he's going to play a huge role the next few weeks in what goes on with Baltimore. Him and Buck got some secrets going on down there, don't they?
You can tell by the way they're covering up their mounts.
Right.
1-2. In the air toward left field, slicing to the corner. Rajai Davis on the run, still going back, can't get it. Against the wall. Here comes Hardy trying to score, and he will. The relay is bobbled, and the Orioles have a 1-0 lead. An opposite field RBI double for Steve Clevenger.
And Rajai Davis with a lot of speed out there had maybe one more step to take before he ran into that left field wall. Just didn't make the play. That ball had some slicing action to it, and Baltimore gets on the board first.
Off the bat, I thought that ball would go foul, but it stayed fair. No chance to get Hardy. 2-out single comes around to score, courtesy of the double by Clevenger, his 6th RBI. And here is former Tiger Delman Young. He is serving as the DH for the Orioles.
It's a tough league. Batting .321, batting 8th. I guess that kind of gives you an idea how deep this Baltimore Orioles offense is.
Very deep lineup.
There are some that say top to bottom, when all healthy, this is the best lineup in the American League. That's what some people say.
Well, and I don't know how you could argue it. With Wieters in there, I would agree. You could probably make the case for the Orioles. Very, very deep ball club.
Jim Presley has one of those good jobs like Wally Joyner, just pointing to the batter's box.
Here's the 0-1.
Delman's a dangerous bat. He hit some big postseason home runs in the Tigers uniform. I mean, huge home runs for Detroit.
Looks like Delman has slimmed down considerably.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Young has hit 1 home run this year. Played for the Tigers in 2011, 2012. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball left side. Romine backs up on the hop. His throw is high. Pulled him off the bag.
Romine does not make many mistakes, but you could kind of see this play developing. What happened here is he got back on his heels. He probably had time to set his feet, get his momentum going back toward first base, but watch where he catches it, and then look at the release point. Right where he gets ready to release that ball, he's back on his heels. Therefore, the ball never comes down for him because of where he let it go. Never got out in front and pulled that one down.
Should he have charged that ball?
That's another option. You create a more difficult hop for yourself if you do charge it, but that is a valid question.
All right, here's Scope, the number 9 hitter. Porcello got the ground ball, but a tricky hop forces an E6. And now Scope with a 5-game hitting streak. A run in on the double by Clevenger. Orioles batting here in the 2nd.
Somebody told me today that, and they follow this team on a day-to-day basis. They said that Jonathan Scope has a chance to be as good as Manny Machado.
Whoa.
Really? They like him that much. He's a second baseman playing shortstop. Great range, great arm, and they believe he's going to hit. He's young, too.
Sawed his bat off that time. Going to be a tough play. Porcello covering. And the shovel throw is in time.
Nicely done by Porcello and Miggy.
So they settle for 1 run, leave a pair. Tigers baseball this evening presented by Bell Tire.
play. Really, this is no communication here. Rick goes for the ball initially. Once the ball gets past him, he makes a beeline toward the bag. Miggy makes a play. Nice shuffle to Porcello. Porcello able to find the bag to get the out. Very difficult play here because the ball is getting to Porcello about the same time the base runner is getting there. He very easily could have been stepped on. That is pitcher's fielding practice at its finest.
So Porcello allows a run. The RBI double by Clevenger. And here come the Tigers now as we go to the top of inning number 3. Alex Avila will lead it off. The bottom 3 for Detroit. So far, Bud Norris has faced 6 batters. And he's retired all 6. Avila, Romine, and Rajai Davis facing the right-hander Norris. He was making his 7th start of the season. And he delivers a fastball that missed the outside corner, 1-0. Avila 224, had 4 hits on the recent homestand.
Likes hitting in this ballpark. 11 RBIs in just 16 games in this yard for Alex. But there aren't many big league hitters that don't like hitting at Camden Yards.
Wally Joyner chatting with Torrey Hunter.
No doubt probably trying to figure out a pattern that Norris is getting into.
Here's the 1-1.
Torrey Hunter very much a student of the game, and Jim Leland said as much a couple of days ago when he was visiting us in the booth. Torrey and Victor Martinez, they will sit down for about 30 minutes before the game and watch that opposing pitcher, and they will watch his glove, they will watch his shoulder, they will watch anything that they could possibly pick up to help them during the course of the game that night. And a lot of times they pick up flaws that the pitchers have. It could be very subtle, but they pick it up.
Time called now as Avila was stepping out of the box. That was a late time given to Alex. James Hoy, the home plate umpire. Norris was in his delivery. I think Norris tried to quick pitch him there. Avila just stepped in and Norris was ready to deliver. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on Avila. Even when Alex has struggled, he has taken his walks and he continues to do so. Got himself in a 3-2 count now. Avila has 13 base on balls this year, second highest total behind Austin Jackson, who leads the team. Fouled away. Game was delayed tonight by about a half hour. 35 minutes or so. The Tigers and Orioles in game 1 in this series. Rain predicted the next couple of days as well, but hopefully we'll be able to fit this 3-game series in before the team heads to Boston. Norris again with the 3-2. Swing and a miss. 94 right over the heart of the plate, threw it by. And that is 3 straight strikeouts now for Norris.
And second time through the batting order, Tigers need to figure out that he's trying to overpower them with fastballs, and if he simply changes to his off-speed pitches, then as a hitter you need to be ready to make that adjustment with Norris. But so far here in the first couple of innings, a lot of fastballs, 94, 95 to the Tigers batters.
Here's Romine. Ball 1 to Andrew. Here's the ratio on Norris after 30 in this game. 18 strikes, 12 balls. 1-1 the count. Davis will be next. Tigers down by a run. We're playing in the 3rd.
If there has been any issue with the Baltimore Orioles this year, despite them being in first place, their bullpen probably has been overused because their starters really have not given them the kind of length on a nightly basis that they really need to do to be a successful team for 7 months.
Tigers tomorrow night see Ubaldo Jimenez. He'll go against Drew Smiley. Here's Ubaldo.
They wore him out when he was wearing that Cleveland Indians uniform. They hit him so bad, Terry Francona started skipping him when the Tigers would show up.
Boy, he put together a really good second half last year.
He did.
2-2 on Andrew Romine. Got him on the outside corner. Strike 3, and Norris so far is absolutely dealing. That's 4 straight strikeouts. And he's retired the first 8 straight. Here's Rajai Davis. Davis at 303. He's knocked in 10 this year. Takes strike 1 as he offers a bunt. Rajai was just 2 for 16 on the homestand, so hopefully he'll be able to get it going offensively on this road trip. Now the 0-1. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Scope, who is around the bag, crosses over and throws him out. So 9 up, 9 down against Bud Norris. He has looked awfully good here tonight. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Here in Baltimore. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast that is brought to you by AT&T. The hashtag again, #DetroitFanPhoto. Top of the order coming up for the Orioles. They got a run in the 2nd on the RBI double by Clevenger. Nick Markakis, Manny Machado, and then Adam Jones facing the right-hander Rick Porcello. And he straightens up Markakis with a fastball high 1-0. Markakis bounced out in the 1st inning. We mentioned his 18-game hitting streak. His career high is 19 straight. 1-0 is in for a strike. 1-1 on Markakis. He just finished up a series against the Astros in which he was 6 for 12. Now Porcello with the 1-1. That breaks inside, roll to first, diving stop Miguel. And Porcello covers for the out.
I don't know if many of you know this, but Brad Osman started his professional career in the New York Yankees organization. And at that time, Buck Showalter was also a minor league manager with the Yankees. And when the Yankees left Brad unprotected after the '92 season, the Colorado Rockies selected him in the expansion draft. Buck Showalter said at that time that he knew the Yankees allowed a really good player to get away, but they already had Jorge Posada in the big league, so there was really nowhere for Brad to go.
Ausmus would go on to catch 18 seasons in the major leagues, including a stop in Detroit. Here's Machado. And he looks at a strike. 0-1 on Machado. I guess that's kind of life in baseball. I mean, you only have room for so many people, and sometimes you've got to make hard decisions.
Yeah, Brad never played in the big leagues with the Yankees, nor did he play for Buck Showalter in the minor leagues. But, of course, he played for Buck in spring training while rosters are getting shuffled up and down until the big league club gets set. But, you know, you always have those meetings at the end of the year when it comes to protecting your players. And Buck Showalter said he encouraged them to try to save Ausmus if they could.
0-2. Got him. Strike three. Machado doesn't like it. And he's letting James Hoy know about it. 2 outs. And James Hoy's not going to take too much, telling Machado to scram, beat it.
And Machado's still getting his sea legs underneath him. Missed a lot of time with that surgically repaired knee. And he was actually ready to come back about 3 weeks before they actually activated him because they didn't want him to go back on the disabled list with the same problem.
Porcello has his first strikeout of the ball game. 2 away. Here's Adam Jones. Jones 0 for 1 with a ground out. Six-game hitting streak for Jones. Yesterday picked up his 500th big league RBI. And he rolls that one foul.
Good sinker there by Porcello at 92 miles an hour. Looks like a fastball that's straight and right down the middle in the last couple of feet. That ball just kind of darts down. Take a look at it. The movement on that two-seamer.
Now Rick has him set up 0-2. Would not chase. Breaking ball bouncing in. 1-2 the count on Jones. He's won 3 Gold Gloves, made 3 All-Star teams. And he taps that one foul. Baltimore in the American League East, which through the years has been a very, very difficult division to deal with. The Orioles right now atop the East. You just wonder if Buck Showalter has enough in his rotation to make some noise this year.
Not at this current time.
And the 1-2. Right back up the middle. That'll be a base hit.
Hanging breaking ball there. Thrown by Porcello to Jones with 2 strikes.
Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here it is 1-0. Orioles have the lead on the Clevenger RBI double. That was back in the second. Now the dangerous Chris Davis stands in. Davis flied out and was back in the second. Popped up foul, back out of play.
The Baltimore Orioles really have not been able to put their starting lineup on the field all that often this year. Davis has missed some time. Of course, Machado also has missed some time. So Wieters is now out, but yet they're still in first place.
Davis was on the DL with a bad oblique. What a year he had last season.
He said he hurt his oblique diving for a ball, not swinging. That oblique injury, that's the one injury that has kind of shown up a lot the last couple of years.
Orioles by a game and a half over the Yankees. Boston 2 back. Tampa coming out of the chute very slowly. Here's the 0-1. Driven toward left field. Davis is on the run. Rajay runs it down. That'll do it for the Orioles. No runs, 2 out single, 1 left. To the 4th we go. To you by Arby's. Try Arby's Smokehouse Brisket Sandwich today. And by Belt Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Belt Tire. Nighttime settling in here in the Inner Harbor, Baltimore. The Tigers and Orioles opening up a 3-game set. The Orioles currently have a 1-0 lead. Rain delay of about a half hour before the start of this one, but hopefully we'll be okay the rest of the night as Ian Kinsler leads it off here in the 4th. The Tigers not only looking for their first hit, they are looking for their first base runner. Kinsler bounced out. That started the game back in the 1st inning, 0 for 1. Ball 1 for Bud Norris. Norris has 4 strikeouts. Here's the 1-0. Bending low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Kinsler hit .321 in the last homestand. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. And for the most part, day in and day out, has been very, very good with the bat. Very consistent. In fact, he leads the Tigers with 43 hits coming into play tonight. The 2-0. Fastball right down the middle. At 94 miles an hour. 2-1 on Kinsler.
Heard Craig Monroe talking about this in the pregame show today. Rudy Jaramillo, who was the hitting coach in Texas, where Kinsler played and also Nelson Cruz played, really gets both of these guys, not only these 2 guys, but a lot of his former hitters, to get set very early with that front foot, which gives you time to recognize exactly what the opposing pitchers are throwing. Look at that front foot, how quickly he gets it down.
And he draws the walk. Tigers have their first base runner of this ball game. It's a leadoff walk here in the 4th. We'll bring up Torrey Hunter, who also bounced out in the 1st inning.
I told you that their catcher Clevenger is more of an offensive-minded catcher. Wieters would make you think twice about trying to steal a base, but we'll see if Kinsler feels like he can steal one off of this combination of Norris and Clevenger.
4 steals this year for Kinsler in 6 attempts. Runner goes on the very first pitch. Throw down to second. Not in time.
I don't know if that was a hit and run or not. It must have been, because that was a nasty pitch thrown to Torrey Hunter that he tried to hit, and Kinsler had an outstanding jump and was able to steal that base rather easily.
Looked like a straight steal. I don't think Kinsler looked in, did he? Oh, yeah, he did. Throw was late, so the Tigers now have a man in scoring position. 5 steals now for Ian. And it's hit in the air to right field on a line. Markakis. Kinsler tags, and he'll move up to third.
Good at bat by T. Hunter. He'll get a lot of high fives when he gets back into that dugout.
1 out now, setting up Cabrera with a man at third.
Torres hit 2 balls right on the screws today.
He got Mickey to pop up the first time.
Mickey does not have much of an uppercut in his swing, but when there's a runner on third, less than 2 outs, he does have and creates a little bit more of a loft to try to hit the ball deep enough in the outfield to score the run.
He is trying to pick up Kinsler here with less than 2 outs. We're in the 4th in Baltimore. And he drives one in the air to center field. Jones plays it on one hop, base hit. Tigers not only have their first hit, their first run as well.
Miggy has great bat range. Here's a changeup that's up in the zone, and he just climbs the ladder, gets on top of it, and gets himself a knock and a ribby.
Make it an even 30 RBIs on the year now for Miguel. So after Norris had retired 9 straight to start the game, a walk, a steal, a fly ball, and a single. Here's Victor Martinez. Victor looks at ball 1 high. Martinez flied out his first time up. Very quick first inning for Norris.
Sometimes you wonder why pitchers change. First time through the lineup against the Tigers, Norris was overpowering them with really good fastballs, and he was kind of having his way against the Tigers. 4 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. He didn't came out this inning throwing changeups and breaking balls.
Ausmus holding court. A lot of teaching going on right now in the Tiger dugout. Castellanos, young player. Romine, young player. Kinsler, the veteran, listening in.
I wonder if they could possibly be talking about that relay play earlier in the game.
It looks like it.
The play down the left field line that Davis didn't catch, where their shortstop Hardy was able to score.
Driven toward left center field. Jones on the run. Still going. Won't get it up against the wall. Cabrera coming to third base. Dave Clark will stop him there. It's a double for Victor Martinez.
Second time through the batting order. Norris not having nearly the success that he had the first time through. Great hitters like the Tigers have will make adjustments. Victor simply beat the shift that time.
So Martinez, who batted .321 in the homestand, has a double here tonight, 8th of the season. And the Tigers now in business to try and break this 1-1 tie. Jackson will step in. Tigers have a couple of hits in the inning. Single by Cabrera, double by Martinez. And Jackson looks at ball 1 high. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Jackson has knocked him in 4 of the 7 times. Here's the 1-0. Strike called on AJ. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That last stat gives you an idea of just how difficult it is to get that runner on from third, less than 2 outs. The league average was 51%. Jackson at 57%.
Kinsler and Ausmus still having a chat in the dugout. There's a ball inside. 2-1 the count. This is a conversation that has gone on now for a few minutes. Now Norris will step off. Things not going quite as swimmingly here in the 4th inning as they were in the first 3 innings. And the leadoff walk was part of the downfall for Norris. He walked Kinsler, who has come around to score. Way high. And now he's fallen behind. 3-1 on Jackson. Waiting on deck is Castellanos.
And Castellanos, he knows what he's going to get. He's going to get some off-speed pitches.
High fly ball center field. That'll back up Jones. Still drifting to the warning track. Both runners tag. Cabrera comes in to score. Sac fly and an RBI for Austin Jackson. RBI number 12 for Jackson. Tigers have their first lead of the night. That'll bring up Castellanos with Martinez at third base.
If you're Castellanos, you can sit on an off-speed pitch the first couple of pitches in this at-bat. Chances are pretty good you're going to get one. If they continue to pitch him the way that they've already pitched him in the 2 series they have seen each other.
Got a breaking ball there, and he pounded it foul.
He sure did. He was a little tardy on that breaking ball. 84. Usually guys are out in front of that if they're looking for it. It's a good pitch to hit. Hanging breaking ball, nonetheless.
Now the 0-1. Bouncing ball to short. Right there is J.J. Hardy. That'll take care of the Tigers now before they take the lead. Tonight 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Baltimore. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Miguel Cabrera, RBI single in the top of this inning. Sac fly by Jackson scored another. Tigers have turned a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 lead for Rick Porcello. He'll face Cruz, Hardy, and Clevenger here in the bottom of the 4th. Nelson Cruz hit a ball hard his first time up, smoked it right at Andrew Romine, the shortstop. And Cruz steps away from a breaking ball strike. 43 pitches now for Rick Porcello.
Jeff Jones feels like Porcello is pitching his best baseball of his career as we speak.
Ball is hit well, but it's to the right fielder, Torrey Hunter.
He's a lot more confident with his off-speed pitches. And really only concentrating now on the curveball and the changeup. He's throwing them when he's behind in counts, changing eye levels with fastballs up. He's really evolved into a really good big league starter.
Here's J.J. Hardy, singled with 2 outs in the second and then scored the Orioles run. Strike one. And Brad Ausmus was asked before the game today what he thought about Rick Porcello and what he has learned about Porcello that he didn't know about him before he took the job. And Brad said he didn't realize how really intense Porcello can be. He doesn't show it on the mound. He always looks cool and composed, but he is a very intense competitor. The 1-1 is off the end of the bat, foul. 1-2 on Rick.
That's something that we've never seen Rick display, his frustration on the mound.
No. And that was Brad's point, but he can tell that he's just a really, really fiery competitor inside. He doesn't show it outside. He may be boiling inside when things don't go well, but he'll never show it. And he's off to a 5-1 start, making his 7th start of this campaign. A little bit outside. The count evens now 2-2.
You can get Hardy to chase a breaking ball as long as it's a good breaking ball and you don't get too much plate with it. If you get too much plate with it, he'll simply hit that ball to left field. Some numbers on Rick Porcello and where he ranks in the American League. Off to a hot start. Wins, walks per 9.
Fly ball, shallow center. Jackson charging hard to make the play. A couple of fly ball outs, 2 away. Hey, Saturday, May 24th, the Tigers face the Texas Rangers at 4:08 in the 20th annual Negro Leagues tribute game. The first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars replica cap. More ticket information can be had by calling 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. 2 gone now for Steve Clevenger. He strokes this one to center field. That'll be his 2nd hit of the game. That means Matt Waiter, says Clevenger. You've got a single and a double. And he keeps going for Delman Young. Orioles now have 4 hits. Delman able to reach on an error by the shortstop Romine back in the 2nd. Did not score though. Taking strike 1.
Clevenger now 4 for 5 in his meetings so far in his career against Porcello, so he clearly has Rick's number.
Rick came inside that time, missed with a fastball. 1-1.
Delman stands right on top of the dish. As a matter of fact, when he sets and before the pitch is thrown, his hands are literally resting right over the home plate, right over the plate.
Good block by Avila. 2-1. Delman last year played over in the National League with the Philadelphia Phillies, played about 80 ball games there, and then hooked up with Tampa. 26 home runs in his career with the Tigers, but the home runs that he hit in the postseason for Detroit were massive. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball right field, straight at Torrey Hunter. And that is that for the Orioles. No runs, 2 outs, single, 1 left. We go to the 5th. It's brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Back here in Baltimore, we go to the top of the 5th, where the Tigers are currently leading the Orioles 2-1. Rick Porcello allowing a run in the 2nd. That's it. And Rick is in search of his 6th win of the season. Came in at 5-1 tonight. Bottom 3 for the Tigers: Avila, Romine, and Davis facing righty Bud Norris. Avila struck out back in the 3rd. Norris started the game by retiring 9 straight. And he picked up 4 early strikeouts in this contest. Avila was thinking about offering a bunt.
Trying to beat that shift. Manny Machado, the 3rd baseman, he's playing at that shortstop position right now. Therefore, a lot of room for Avila to bunt down the 3rd baseline.
Avila, a couple of times this year, has absolutely rifled balls to the right side, straight into that shift. He was a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bud Norris, a former Houston Astro. In fact, was picked up at the deadline last year from the Astros by the Orioles. Norris was Houston's opening day starter last year.
They're playing Avila to pull on the right side of the field, but yet they're throwing him fastballs away.
I don't get it, and it's not the first time we've seen that, where pitchers are not pitching to the shift.
Here we go again.
And he strokes it foul down the left field line. 2-2 on Avila. Norris spent parts of 5 seasons in the Astros rotation. Checked it. Did he go? Yes, he went around. Paul Nart down at 3rd base. Rings him up.
Probably went a little bit too far.
It'll be the 5th strikeout for Bud Norris. And a ball up high to Romine. Romine struck out. His only time up. Way high with a fastball. Norris's fastball in this game has been 94-ish, 95. Romine looks at a strike. Another fastball on 2-0. It's now 2-1.
Well, after giving up a 2 spot to the Tigers in the 4th inning, throwing changeups and breaking balls, Norris has gone back to his fastball here in the 5th.
But in foul behind home plate, 2-2. Rajay Davis waiting on deck. Orioles got a run in the 2nd. Tigers answer with 2 in the 4th. And now the 2-2. Lifted foul back out of play. Baltimore is just 2 games over the 500 mark here at home, 9-7 at Oriole Park. And they have not fared too well against the Central Division. Just 3-6. That has popped up. Foul ground. Norris charging and making the play himself.
Very nicely done, Bud Norris.
He was on a dead sprint, and you never really ever see pitchers running that hard.
He was determined to get the out. He was the only one that was going to make that play.
I love seeing this because pitchers are never ever involved in the play defensively. Machado wasn't going to get there, neither was Clevenger. Now he's just going to have to catch his breath. That's the only problem with this play.
Yeah, pitchers aren't accustomed to sprinting this hard during the course of their outings on most nights.
So Clevenger walked to the mound. The infield joined him to buy him a little bit of time.
And the pitchers run more than anybody on the team.
But after that sprint, a deep breath by Norris. He was not going to let that out get away. Here's Davis dropping down a bunt foul.
That is 3 consecutive batters that have attempted to bunt. Avila, Romine, now Davis.
And I think Norris thought he might have Davis might have hit the ball in fair territory. It was close. Here's the 0-1. Drilled to center field. Jones. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Bud Norris. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire.
He singled with 2 outs in the second. He was driven in by Steve Clevenger with a double the opposite way. Tigers got on the board in the second. A walk to J.J. Hardy, a steal. Hunter flew out the opposite way, which set the table for Miguel. And then Austin Jackson also able to drive in a run after Victor Martinez double with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Tigers manufactured a couple of runs there in that inning when they scored 2 to take the lead.
And that's where we are right now as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Porcello back to work as he misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Jonathan Scope bounced out his first time up. Markakis and then Machado to follow. Big swing there for Scope.
No batting gloves for Scope. Old school.
He was rated the 5th best prospect in the entire Orioles chain coming into play this season. Hit his first home run off Tanaka. Pulls this one on the ground to short. To his left, Roman throws him out. Another ground ball out for Rick. 1 gone here in the 5th. Now Nick Markakis. Markakis 0 for 2, couple of ground ball outs. Markakis starting in right field on opening day for the 8th consecutive year this year for the Orioles. He's been a mainstay out there. He's also climbing on the doubles list for Baltimore. 295 two-baggers, which is good for 6th all-time on the O's list. The 0-1 sails inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last couple of years, the national baseball audience has had a chance to watch Markakis. The Orioles have been a pretty good team, therefore they're playing on national TV. So Markakis is able to showcase his skills.
It floats in outside. 2-1.
Whereas before he was a good player, but no one really knew it because they never really got a chance to watch the Orioles play.
Trying to extend his 18-game hitting streak.
Changeup at the top of the zone. Real good pitch by Porcello. That's something he's starting to do in fastball counts.
Drilled to center field. Straight at Austin Jackson. And that makes Markakis 0 for 3 in the game. 2 up, 2 down.
6 ground outs, 7 flyouts today for Porcello. Only 1 strikeout.
Rick has won 4 straight for the 6th time in his career. Tonight would tie his career high, his personal longest win streak. If he can win tonight, it'd make it 5 straight victories.
He loves pitching in the month of May. Absolutely loves it. His numbers in the month of May throughout his career are outstanding.
0-1 the count on Manny Machado. Ground out, strikeout. Strike called by James Hoy.
Well located 91-mile-per-hour sinker on the black outside.
Machado and Hoy had words after Manny was called out on strikes in the 3rd.
So he should be swinging here?
I would advise it. Let's see if he does. The 0-2. He protected that time and sent it back out of play.
And it's a good thing that he did, because that probably would have been called a strike by the home plate umpire, James Hoy, tonight.
.283 last year, knocked in 71, but he hit 51 doubles. And he slices that one off the glove of the second baseman Kinsler into right field.
Rick Porcello trying to miss with that pitch up in the strike zone, but Machado able to climb the stairs and get on top of that fastball on an 0-2 pitch.
right off the webbing. 2-out single for Machado. That'll keep the inning going now for Adam Jones. Tying run is on. Jones last year became the first Orioles outfielder to win a Silver Slugger award. And he fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Jones this year, 20 RBIs.
Adam had a great year last year offensively on both sides of the ball, but he kind of played in the shadow all year of the on-deck hitter, Chris Davis.
Second on the team right now in RBIs. The leader is Nelson Cruz with 30. That'll get back out of play down the right field line. 0-2 now on Jones. Ninth season. Here are the career numbers for Adam. You see that he recently picked up his 500th RBI. Check swing. Did not go, says Bob Davidson. One ball, two strikes. Rick by inning now. He's up to 70. 20 the most that he has thrown. That was in the second inning. Mid-teens pretty much the rest of the game. Here's the 1-2. Fouled it off and just got a piece. Top two teams in the American League in offense. The Tigers came in batting .282. The Orioles were second, but they're at .264, so there's a little bit of a disparity between the two clubs. Porcello trying to close down the fifth inning here. 2 outs and a man aboard. And Rick will throw back to the bag. Jones a single and a ground out in this game. Played just about every day last year. 156 games out there in center field for the O's. 1-2 is a chopper back to the mound and snared by Porcello to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Shot of the Inner Harbor here in Baltimore on a beautiful night. Tigers on top 2-1. 2-1 is our score, and as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT&T. Willing to bet that's not really Kevin Jones.
It could be.
Would you name your pet Kevin Jones? Maybe you would. I don't know.
I've heard some stranger names for pets.
That is true. So we go to the 6th, and it'll be the top of the lineup now for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera facing Bud Norris. Strike one on Kinsler.
Bud Norris made his mistake back in the 4th inning. And by walking Kinsler, he promptly stole second base. Able to get over to third and score on a Miggy base hit.
Kinsler otherwise has a ground out in this game. 321 in the recent homestand. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Rifled right by a diving Machado at third. Base hit for Kinsler.
Would not be shocked to see Buck Showalter possibly pitch out with Kinsler on first base. I don't think Norris is quick enough to get the ball to Clevenger to throw Kinsler out if he wants to steal again. Therefore, the manager might have to help them both. Good effort by Manny.
So give the Tigers another hit. That is only their third of the night.
They've made good use of their hits, haven't they?
That they have. A single by Cabrera scored a run. And then Martinez's double set up yet another. Kinsler dives back in.
Kinsler stole second base on the first pitch after he was walked in the 4th.
That time he went back in standing up. Norris doing his best to keep him close. Hunter had one of the more important at bats that got a little bit lost in that 4th inning after Kinsler stole a bag. His fly ball moved him up. Torrey takes inside.
It's been a long time since I've watched a starting pitcher pitch this aggressively inside to big league hitters. Usually big league hitters are looking for the ball away. And usually pitchers are trying to dot that fastball on the outside black at the knees, but Norris has gone inside quite a bit here this evening.
Here he goes. Clevenger's throw. Out at second base. And here comes Brad Ausmus.
Kinsler picked the right pitch to run on. It was a slow breaking ball, but a nice throw by Clevenger down to second base.
Ian's not going anywhere, even though he was called out. Ausmus slowly walking out. So we'll see if the skipper, who will get the word from Gene Lamont, who is getting the word from Matt Martin, will challenge on this play. This is going to be close either way. Brad has decided not to challenge. And so Kinsler is caught stealing. Two 2-0 on Torrey Hunter. Bases are empty now. There's a strike 2 and 1. Fly ball on the ground out tonight for Torrey. In there a strike, and all of a sudden the count evens now 2 and 2. Checked it. Did not go. Full count now, 3-2. Norris now with the 3-2. And then he got him, strike 3. Torrey now going to give the stink eye to James Hoyle. It's his 6th strikeout. Norris did it. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Probably too close to take for sure.
Maybe a touch inside, but you're right. 2 gone.
Season high in strikeouts so far this year for Norris, 7. He did that a few starts ago against the Boston Red Sox.
Strike 1 on Cabrera. Well, here's Porcello chatting with Jones, Osmus. Kevin Rand standing right there as well. Check swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Doesn't appear that anyone is getting loose in that Tigers bullpen, although guys are up moving, stretching.
Back out of play. 1-2 on Miggy now. Cabrera signaling a run in the 4th inning. That tied the game at that point. Tigers went on to get 1 more. They lead 2-1 as we play here in the 6th. Miguel now with 30 driven in this year. Jose Abreu continues to lead the league with 37 RBI. 2-2. Well, the month of May, Cabrera with 15 driven in.
How about those Rockies? The bottom of that list. Arenado, Blackman, and Tulowitzki.
Whistled and a diving stop it short by J.J. Hardy.
That ball was absolutely scorched.
And all Cabrera could do is laugh. He is robbed by Hardy. On a diving play, the Baltimore shortstop saves the base hit.
Nice job here tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. He's worked all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. Fastballs up, fastballs in and out, nice breaking balls and changeups. He's been able to get ahead of a lot of the hitters as well, which allows him to expand the strike zone and allow his defenders to work behind him. 14 of 21 first pitch strikes for Rick Porcello so far in the 72 pitches he's thrown. He hasn't walked anybody, but that's usually what Rick Porcello does. No free passes.
1.1 base on balls per 9 innings, which is one of the top marks in the American League. Here's Chris Davis to start things off, and he rolls the first one right at Cabrera. Gotta love that. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That's why the breaking ball on the very first pitch is a really good pitch to get big sluggers out, because they're looking for a fastball, but they see the hanging breaking ball and they still try to get to it, and they don't do the damage that they normally would be able to do.
Here's Nelson Cruz. 0 for 2 tonight for Cruz. Line out, fly out. Ball 1 from Porcello. Cruz has gone 5 straight years now of 20 or more home runs. Did a lot of damage in a Texas uniform. Clearly went around there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he left an outstanding ballpark to hit in to come to possibly an even better ballpark to hit in here in Baltimore. In Texas, they had that jet stream to right center field. Here, they got jet streams in every direction.
And as a result, he leads the Orioles with 10 home runs.
Good
swing
pitch.
and a miss.
Good pitch.
1-2 the count on Nelson Cruz.
Jeff Jones said this is the biggest difference in Porcello this year. Consistency with the off-speed pitches.
Well, to get back out of play. Last 8 seasons wearing Texas colors. Cruz last year suspended the 50 games for the PED involvement. Here's the 1-2, and it's rolled foul outside of the bag at third. 1 out, nobody on, 6th inning. Tigers have a 2-1 lead between 2 of the top offensive teams in the American League in a very offense-friendly ballpark. But Norris and Porcello have done really good work tonight. A little bit high. Run the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You don't want to be throwing that hanging breaking ball to Nelson Cruz.
Porcello in the month of May, 15-6. And this legit too, because his ERA is just a little bit over 3. Trying to take care of Cruz here. Here's the 2-2 again. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. And there are 2 gone now. Hey, the Tigers conclude their weekend series with the Texas Rangers on Sunday, May 25th at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free Detroit Tigers starting rotation poster. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
After this road trip, this 3-city trip, Tigers are going to go home for just 4 days. Just enough time to do your laundry, get to the cleaners, and repack.
Here's a ball outside. J.J. Hardy, the batter. 4-game homestands, man. That should be against the rules. Tigers going to have to go out west, too, which makes May even more difficult. That's popped up. Left side of the infield for Romine. That's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. Let's go to the 7th. The Tigers with a slim lead behind Rick Porcello, who just had himself a 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, there was some conversation before he went out there for the 6th inning with he and Brad Ausmus and Kevin Rand, the head athletic trainer. So something's going on with Rick, but he went out there and had a really good 6th.
Ian Kroll has picked up his glove, and he'll begin to warm up in the Detroit bullpen. Normally when we see Kroll, the 7th inning or so. We'll see if Porcello returns. In the meantime, Victor Martinez leads it off in the top of the 7th. Tigers have 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 run on 5 hits for the Orioles.
Good pitch there. First pitch changeup. A little hard with the changeup. I told you they'd like for him to throw his changeup at about 84 miles an hour because his fastball is regularly clocked at 94. But that last one was 88. That's a little hard.
Yeah, on his hands that time, but it's fouled off. 0-2 now on Martinez. Well, Porcello and Jeff Jones chat. Oh, 2. Victor takes high, 1-2 to count. Martinez doubling in the 4th inning. He is 2nd in the American League in slugging percentage. Martinez came in at .577. It has been a red hot start for the Tigers DH. Driven to right field. That's going to drop. Base hit. 2nd hit of the night for Victor, and the leadoff man is on here in the 7th inning.
Here's our bell tire pitch by pitch at how Norris goes after Victor. He misses with the 0-2 pitch, which was elevated. Came back with the same breaking ball, which he jammed him on the 2nd pitch, and Victor found some grass in the outfield for his 2nd hit of the game.
Two of the 4 Tigers hits. Here's Jackson. Austin knocked one in with a sac fly. That was back in the 4th. And that gave the Tigers the lead. Ball 1 high from Norris. This is 86th pitch. Jackson trying to extend his streak. It's at 9 straight. He flies this one in the air down the right field line. It's going to be a long run, and back into the seats it goes. Markakis running out of real estate. Castellanos will be next. Kroll warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Ball high. Tigers trying to reverse course here. They had an 8-game winning streak, but have lost 3 of their last 4. They kind of gave one away to the Minnesota Twins yesterday to close out that homestand.
Yeah, that was a bad loss yesterday. Really the first bad loss of the year.
Lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. Now the count goes 3-1. Norris started the game by retiring 9 straight before the Tigers got to him for a 2 spot in the 4th inning, but that is the only inning the Tigers have been able to score in so far. Bouncing ball left side. Machado charging, throws to second. We'll get the lead runner there. Martinez is out, 1 gone. Fielder's choice allows Jackson to reach.
After taking that throw from Machado, Scope simply comes off the bag knowing he's not going to double up Jackson.
So now Castellanos. 1 on, 1 out. Nick with a bounce out and a strikeout. Norris coming into this one really had not had much success against the Tigers. His ERA was over 7 in 3 career starts versus Detroit, but he's been much better tonight. Nick fouls it off 0-1. His 19 RBIs, third best among rookies in the American League. Nick off to a pretty good start. He's hit 4 homers, knocked in 19. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You don't see many managers with the stopwatch in their hand. Usually it's the base coaches that have the stopwatch, but Brad Ausmus trying to see how quickly Norris getting the ball to the catcher, which will determine whether he feels like Jackson could steal or not. For those of you that don't know, usually the stopwatch is used to time the ball leaves the pitcher's hand until it gets into the hitting zone. Anything under 1-1-1 is good for the catcher.
Runner goes in the air and foul and back out of play. Jackson was on the move. Austin 5 steals this year in 6 tries. Used to be the Tigers really had only some speed at the top with Jackson, and that was about it. But now you've got Kinsler at the top that can steal, Jackson in the middle, and Davis, depending on where he bats in the lineup, sometimes 9th like he is tonight, he has speed.
Davis and Kinsler are still in third base with Miguel in the batter's box.
Right.
I didn't think I'd ever see that day.
What does that tell you? I mean, that shows that Brad Ausmus is not afraid to be very aggressive.
And if teams want to take the liberty of walking Miguel, Victor's been so hot, and he's been such a clutch RBI guy that it really doesn't matter.
One, 2 is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Castellanos can't look for it, but that elevated fastball there is to set up this next curveball that Bud Norris will throw him. But you can't guess with 2 strikes. Catcher wanted the fastball. Norris wants a breaking ball.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Double clutch throw. And it looks like Castellanos got in the way.
That is a nice sell job by Clevenger, in my opinion. It looked like he did that on purpose. And Brad saw the same thing I saw.
It looked like more of a double pump than anything else.
And then he just threw the ball because he knew he was going to get the interference call.
And Ausmus will argue the play, but to no avail with home plate umpire James Hoy. That's going to end the inning. So the Tigers get a hit. And the interference on Castellanos. Two-1 the score as we go to the stretch here in Baltimore. Castellanos on that last swing and a miss.
It was a breaking ball. It kind of carried him over into the throwing lane of the catcher.
I don't know.
It just didn't look. It just looked awkward.
Nick may have been leaning a little bit, but it looked like Clevenger lost his footing. Double pump.
And then he just continued to throw it because he knew he was going to get the call.
The equivalent of taking a charge in basketball, I think, right there.
No, a flop.
Flop, much better. Yeah, much better. You're right. Wellside Windows pitching change Ian Kroll.
16th game now for Kroll. Checks in with a 2.45 ERA. Fastball firm at 93-94. He has a really good curveball and an occasional changeup. 9 strikeouts this year. Kroll has not walked the batter.
Clevenger, Young, and Scope, the bottom 3. Driven right center field, hit well. That ball is up there, and that ball is up against the wall. Man, is Clevenger having a game. That is his 3rd hit, his 2nd double of the night, and the Orioles now have the tying run on, nobody out.
Well, Kroll has a good breaking ball, but not when it's up in the strike zone to Clevenger. We told you at the beginning of the game that Clevenger known more for his bat than his glove, and got a hanging breaking ball, hit it off the base of the wall.
Orioles with the leadoff man on. 6 hits in the ballgame now, 2nd double of the night, and Clevenger has 3 of those hits. Here's Delvin Young. He is 0 for 2. Ball up high, 1-0. Young reaching on an air back in the 2nd, flying out in the 4th. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike call. By the way, if you're scoring that play with Jackson, he is not charged with a caught stealing on that play. There's a high fly ball right field, staying in the park. Torrey sizing it up. Clevenger tagging up. Not going anywhere. 1 out. Well, Thursday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns as the Padres take on Joey Votto and the Reds. The action starts Thursday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now the number 9 hitter, Jonathan Scope. Porcello went the first 6 innings in this game. He gives way to Kroll here in the 7th. Rick retired 7 of the last 8 he faced. Ball high. Back on the phone is Jeff Jones. Bullpen starts to move for the Tigers. Evan Reed has taken the warm-up off. Scattered foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike on Scope. Missed 2 months last year. He had a stress fracture in his back. Tigers trying to move their defense around a little bit. Ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Scope has put the ball on the ground twice in this game. 0 for 2. Clevenger started the inning with a double. He's standing there now with 1 out. Fouled away. 2-2 on the number 9 hitter, Scope. Nick Markakis is waiting on deck.
Obviously, we don't know, but would you agree that something had to be going on with Ricky only threw 83 pitches and was pitching so well?
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think they take him out of the game. I really don't. Otherwise. So I think something had to be going on, although he was chatting with Kevin Rand and Brad Auspis and then went out and threw another 1-2-3 inning. Then they took him out. With a foul by Scope.
Kroll continues to climb the ladder on fastballs at 94 to Scope. Scope continues to foul them off. He's got him set up for a real good breaking ball as long as he buries it at the bottom of the zone. You can't hang it like he hung it to Clevenger.
Chopper foul, third base side. So Scope continues to hang tough here. Tigers fell behind 1-0 in this game, and they went on top with a 2-run fourth. It has been that way since the fourth inning. Scope left the strike zone there, but got a piece of it to stay alive. 93 on that fastball from Kroll. Reed warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Buck Showalter's ball club coming in first place in the American League East in the early going. They had a 1.5 lead over New York coming in. Chopper slowly left side of the infield. Castellanos on the bare hand. Oh, he got him at first base. What a play by Castellanos. A charging barehanded play, and they nipped Scope at the wire.
That is probably the most difficult play for most third basemen. It's the do or die play. You grab it in the palm of your hands, you transfer to the fingertips, and then you flip it across the diamond, and you hope you have enough arm strength throwing off balance. Nice job by Castellanos, turning the body ever so slightly to put himself in the best position to make that play.
What a great play. That'll advance the runner to third. But that's the second out of the inning, and now with Markakis coming up, Jones will come out to have a brief chat.
Watch the body here of Castellanos right before he gets ready to pick the ball up, how he just kind of turns to make it less stressful on the throw across the diamond.
The nuances of a play like that. Right there. Arm strength impressive.
Nice stretch by Miguel as well.
So with 2 outs, the tying run is at third, and now Markakis, who is 0 for 3 in this game.
100 points lower batting left-handed this year is Markakis than what he does against right-handers.
Way up and in. Markakis spills out of the box.
This is his last batter, no matter what. And with Machado in the on-deck circle. And Evan Reed loosening in the Tigers bullpen.
Spins him out of there again. Fans don't like it. 2-0. Tigers on top 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Tying run at third and 2 outs. Strike call. 2-1. This is the 4th at bat of the night for Markakis, who has an 18-game streak, 0 for 3, a couple of grounders and a flyout.
And obviously he was told by the pitching coach, Doug Jones, to pitch him aggressively inside. 3 straight fastballs all inside to Markakis. Now they're going away.
Way high. 3-1. Machado on deck. He's getting very interesting now with a 3-1 count here on Markakis. Fourth batter that Kroll has faced here in the 7th, trying to pitch around a leadoff double. And the 3-1 driven in the air to center, right at Jackson, and the threat is over. So the Orioles got a leadoff 2-base hit. Strand Clevenger at third. We go to the 8th. At Oriole Park at Camden Yards, Tigers holding on to a skinny lead tonight. 2-1 is our score, and here is our game summary to this point. Miguel Cabrera now has a major league leading 16 RBIs in the month of May. Drove one in with a base hit in the 4th inning. And Rick Porcello, Ron, I thought was awfully good tonight.
He was. I mean, he worked the 4 quadrants of the strike zone beautifully. Fastballs up, really good sinker with movement, some curves, some changeups. Only 83 pitches thrown by Porcello before departing after pitching 6 innings.
Just can't get Clevenger out. He's 3 for 3 with a couple of doubles. So the Tigers here in the 8th inning will have the bottom 3 of Avila, Romine, Davis, as Ian Kroll pitched around a leadoff double. In the bottom of the 7th, they stranded the tying run at third. Avila has punched out a couple of times in this game against Bud Norris. Tigers in search of some insurance here late in this game. They lead by just 1. Norris 96 pitches into this game. Throws ball 1, and the 8th inning is underway. Here's the 1-0. 1-1 on Alex Avila. There is activity in the bullpen for the Orioles, and that would be Darren O'Day.
Buck Showalter has 3 right-handers, 3 left-handers, and a closer in his bullpen. Hunter would be the closer. He's right-handed.
2-2 on Avila. So that's an even 100 now for Bud Norris, and here it is by inning. Pretty good. Avila waits on the 2-2. Off the plate, 3 balls, 2 strikes. See if we can get a base runner here to start off the inning. Romine waiting on deck. The full count pitch. Walked him, and there's your base runner.
Here is our Xfinity high-speed pitch. A top fastball thrown tonight by Bud Norris. 96 miles an hour. 83, that would be on his curveball. He also cuts it, has a slider, and a changeup.
Second walk of the ball game for Norris, and now let's see if Romine is up there to advance the runner. Machado is on the grass at third base. Romine bunts it foul.
Fastball up, and by Norris in a bunting situation, but it's a nice job by Romine to get up there and bunt that ball down toward the ground.
Romine struck out his first time up, then popped one up to his own dugout that Norris sprinted for off the mound and made the play himself. Let that one go by. Not a buntable ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Romine. Rajai Davis waiting on deck as Dave Clark goes through the signs in the coaching box at third base.
Next pitch thrown by Norris will be 105. And that's the most he's thrown in any start this year. He's done that twice. Now this will be the third time.
Bunted foul. So Romine not able to get the ball down, and now he's behind in the count 1-2. And we'll see if Brad Ausmus keeps the bunt sign on here with 2 strikes. Romine giving a long look. You don't see it very often. No sign of bunt there, and he pops it up foul, back out of play. How often would you say over the course of the season do you see a manager keep the bunt sign on with 2 strikes? Doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. In the senior circuit, more often with the number 8 hitter, number 9 hitter, which would be the pitcher in the National League, but not a whole lot in the American League.
One-two is popped up again. See if this one stays in play. Machado has room. 1 out. Romine retired, and that'll bring up Rajai Davis. Davis over 2, fly out, ground out. He finished up a homestand in which he was 2 for 16, trying to get it going again now. The average at 297. Fouled away. No balls, 1 strike on Davis. Tigers have been out hit 6-4 in this contest, but they lead by 1. It's been a nip and tuck game all night long. The Tigers got a couple of runs in the 4th, and they've led since.
Tigers playing a lot of close games already the first 6 weeks of the season. A lot of 1-run games, a lot of 2-run games. They've had no problem winning some of those.
High fly ball right field. Markakis backpedaling. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Back in the 2nd inning, Kinsler walked, and then he promptly stole second base. He was standing there with nobody out. Hunter lined the ball to right field, which got him over to third base, and Miguel Cabrera drove him in from third.
So Kinsler now with 2 outs. We're talking about one-run games. The Orioles this year are 9-3 in one-run games. They mastered that a couple of years ago in 2012 when they were 29-9
all the way to the postseason.
Now Norris trying to get through this 8th inning here. Kinsler taking ball 1.
Impressive outing tonight. And for Bud Norris to do what he has done against Tigers batters in this ballpark. Best average offensive club in the American League.
Saw a shot of Albuquerque warming up in the Detroit bullpen.
And Jabba Chamberlain, at least right now, must not be good to go today.
Here's a 1-1. Drill down the left field line. That ball might get out of here, and it will.
Oh, that's huge.
A 2-run shot for Ian Kinsler, and the Tigers get their insurance.
That's monumental.
Homer number 4 for Kinsler. Two out, 2-run shot.
It all started with the base on balls to Avila and a fastball that was up in the zone that somehow Ian Kinsler was able to get up there and get on top and drive 6-7 rows deep into the left field seats. That's big.
2 more RBIs for Kinsler, 19 for the season now, and it's another multi-hit game. As Norris tried to get through this 8th inning but unable to do it, Dave Wallace comes out now. The veteran pitching coach. As they talk it over, we tell you to follow every Tigers game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio. Free MLB.TV game of the day and a whole lot more. Download the App Store or visit Tigers.com.
Back-to-back days where Ian Kinsler has homered. He homered yesterday as well. Along with a double, scored 2 runs. He scored 2 runs here today with 2 hits and a walk.
Ian now a 7-game hitting streak. Hunter grounds it foul, 0-1. So the Tigers get 2 in the 4th. They had 2 here in the 8th. Oh, he hit him. Hunter is drilled by the pitch. And Torrey now having some words with Bud Norris.
He got thrown out.
And Hunter now is getting it from Norris, and Chris Davis getting in front of Torrey, and here come the benches. He drilled Torrey and appeared to be on the hip. Both benches spill out into the field. But this appears to be contained. Here come the bullpens as well, only because they have to.
Well, apparently the home plate umpire thought there was some intent there because I believe he threw him out of the game.
Did you see him throw him out?
I believe I saw him throw him out of the game.
I really don't know if Norris was going to continue any farther anyway. The umpire's trying to separate the teams now, and they'll go back to their respective benches. Hunter drilled by the pitch. And Norris, you're probably right, Rod, because he's asking why.
Yeah, he's been kicked out.
Here's the explanation now to Buck Showalter.
It never looks good when a guy gets hit there after a home run. And Torrey felt like there was some intent there.
And there's the throw out. Right in the ribs.
Norris will say after the game that there was no intent there. He did not hit Hunter on purpose, but you will not be able to convince Torrey of that.
So Norris is kicked out of the game. Tigers have a 4-1 lead. And now what's going on? Now Torrey continues. In fact, he is going after the bench right now where Norris is residing. It's not hard to read lips there. Jabba Chamberlain doing his best to calm Torrey down. They had things calmed down, then the Tigers dugout came out again as Torrey was still going after Norris.
I've never heard Torrey booed in the stadium, but he might get booed tomorrow.
Oh, you should count on it. Calmer heads are prevailing at this point. Torrey even cracking a smile. So the Orioles have to go to the bullpen now as Norris has been tossed from the game, and as they sort that out, we remind you to join us again tomorrow for the middle game of this series against the Orioles. Our coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers and O's tomorrow at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. So the Orioles go to the bullpen now. Preston Guillemette has checked in. And he'll warm up.
And he gets all the time he needs.
Well, to recap, a leadoff walk, 2 outs later, 2-run shot by Kinsler, and then Norris drilled Torrey Hunter right in the ribs. And then was thrown out of the game. The bench is cleared. No punches thrown. There's the man of the hour right there. Kinsler, big 2-run shot.
Ask and you shall receive. This is our Nissan drive of the game. Fastball elevated, low 90s by Bud Norris, who pitched a real good game. But Ian Kinsler plays long ball for the second consecutive game.
Tigers got 2 in the 4th. They added 2 big ones here in the 8th on the Kinsler homer, and they lead 4-1. And so Preston Guillemette taking over now for Norris here in the 8th inning. By the way, here's the upcoming pitching matchup. We told you Game 2 is coming up in this series tomorrow. It's brought to you by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety. Drew Smiley and Ubaldo Jimenez.
Ubaldo off to a slow start with his new squad. 2 wins, 4 losses, a 4.73 ERA. It looks like the walks have been an issue for Ubaldo.
So we're ready to go now as Miguel Cabrera will take his swings with the runner at first and 2 outs. Hunter aboard at first base.
I don't think guys have a problem with guys pitching inside, because Bud Norris was pitching inside aggressively all night long, but it just looks bad after a home run.
I'm trying to remember here last year when the Tigers hit back to back to back. Someone got hit for the Tigers. That's fouled back out of play. And you're right, it just didn't look good. But Hunter's ribs are probably going to be a little bit sore tomorrow. Oh, 0-2. Drilled foul again. Preston Guillemette was acquired from the Indians on April the 7th. The Orioles gave up Torsten Boss, who was a former Michigan State Spartan. Boss going the other way. Bouncing ball to third. Foul ball. Machado in foul territory. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Tigers. A run on 6 hits for the Orioles.
Why is Norris still in the dugout?
It's a good question. You're supposed to be out of the dugout. I don't think anybody is paying attention, but he should be in the clubhouse. Once you are ejected from the game, you have to leave. At least that's my understanding.
That's the way it's always been.
Norris still taking in the action for the dugout. The 1-2. Pulled to third base. Machado on the backhand. They get the force at second. That'll end the inning. Fireworks. Norris will finally leave. Torrey Hunter hit by the pitch. The bench is emptied, but here's what counts the most. 2-run shot by Ian Kinsler. The 8th inning. Ian Kinsler, big 2-run shot. Torrey Hunter was drilled in the ribs, which got both benches to empty. Bud Norris thrown out of the game.
You don't usually see T. Hunter get upset about anything, but he was a little upset there.
Wallside Windows pitching change. Albuquerque.
Walks have been good this year for Albuquerque. He hasn't given up many of them, and that's really the one thing they wanted him to work on in spring training. Limit the base on balls, and so far through 18 games he's done just that. 18 strikeouts, so he's getting a strikeout every outing, at least one.
And he's going to get an out on the first pitch here.
You gotta love that.
One gone, and not only an out, but an out of a big hitter, Machado. One gone for Adam Jones. Albuquerque now going to have to delve his way through 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Adam Jones is single in 3 at bats.
Brad Osmond's not messing around here tonight. He's got his closer up in the 8th inning just in case Albuquerque needs some help.
There he is, Joe Nathan. Under the watchful eye of Mick Billmeyer, bullpen coach. Jones had a single his middle time up. Had him now a 7-game hit streak for the Orioles.
If you're Jones, you got to be kicking yourself. You took that last slider from Albuquerque because that one was hanging. The next one's going to be biting.
Fastball away. 2 balls, 1 strike.
There it is. Ooh.
Tremendous location, too. 2-2.
He should have hit that first one Albuquerque threw to him.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Ooh, I see Albuquerque.
It's his first strikeout of the night, 2 gone. He's got Jones muttering to himself.
Let's take a look at the big boys. Big play of the game back in the 7th inning. Castellanos made an outstanding play coming in, grabbing that ball in the palm of his hands, transferring to the fingertips, and pulling it across the diamond to get the out.
Chris Davis now will bat here with 2 outs as Castellanos runs all the way from 3rd into short right field as they shift.
Davis only played 1 game down in the minor leagues in Bowie on a rehab assignment after spending some time on the disabled list. Yesterday was his first game back. Went 2 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
Ball high. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Davis.
Albuquerque doesn't throw a changeup, does he?
What was this? Oh, it looked like it.
Backup slider, maybe? I didn't think he had a change piece.
That one got Avila.
Some catchers hold their hand behind their back. But Avila's not one of those. He kind of keeps his hand out there, but he doesn't make a fist. The hand is kind of limp, so when if the ball does make contact with the hand, because it's not a fist there, usually you can get away with it.
One and 2 on Davis. I don't know which team was the first to employ a shift like this, but I can only imagine when a team did it for the first time, everybody's saying, what in the world are they doing? And now it's just commonplace.
Yeah, welcome to the new baseball.
Yeah, new age baseball. Ball high. 2-2 the count. Albuquerque in search of a 1-2-3-8. Tigers lead 4-1. Nelson Cruz waiting on deck. Three and 2 now. Davis in this ball game 0 for 3, couple of fly balls and a ground out. He was the leading vote getter last year in the All-Star voting. That monster year he put up. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Albuquerque strikes out a pair. 1-2-3, 8th inning. And we go to the 9th. Here 4-1 in favor of Detroit. They have been out hit 6-5 in this game, but they've had a couple of big hits, including the 2-run shot by Ian Kinsler in the 8th inning. Here is Victor Martinez to start things off. Victor, then Jackson, then Castellanos. And Martinez takes the first one right over the plate from Preston Guillemette.
Another good day for Victor. 2 for 3, double and a single.
Oh, 2 the count. Roseville, California, the hometown of Preston Guillemette. 26 years of age. Was originally drafted by the Athletics in 2008. Victor staying alive. Oh my goodness, it almost hit our good buddy John Keating.
He got hit last year, didn't he? Was that last year?
No.
He got smoked 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was last year. It was Cleveland, and I can still feel Prince Fielder's liner that I absorbed in the camera well.
You're hiding behind that screen.
Yeah,
You're a smart man.
I'm learning.
You're a smart man.
Fouled back out of play.
John, you hear anything down there on Rick Porcello?
I have not. I saw the same conversations in the dugout that you guys were talking about. That's going to be an intriguing part of the Tigers Live postgame coverage. We have plenty to talk about on Tigers Live tonight.
Well, there's no doubt. We look forward to it. Coming up after this one, hopefully talking about a Tigers victory. And there's strike 3 on Martinez, who took it looking.
Second time this year now that Victor has taken strike 3, looking after going nearly an entire year, calendar year, without taking a third called strike.
Torrey seems to be in a bit of a better mood now, which is good. It's a ball inside to Austin Jackson.
Guillemette pitched at the University of Arizona from 2006 through 2009. My young son Andrew was there as a redshirt freshman 1 year, and then half of the next year with Guillemette.
So
Guillemette was there. Guillemette was their Friday night guy.
Nice. AAA numbers in Norfolk.
Straight over the top is Guillemette. 90-91 top fastball. You don't see many guys straight over the top like this.
Roll to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. Speaking of over the top, slings it to first.
Who was that we saw just a couple of series ago? Josh Fields, the guy that we thought kind of looked like Lincecum.
Lincecum, yeah.
Straight over the top.
2 up, 2 down. Nick Castellanos. Hold for 3 for Nick. A couple of strikeouts, and he waves and misses 0-1. Orioles in the bottom of the 9th will face Joe Nathan, Cruz, Hardy, Clevenger. 3 scheduled hitters. Strike call. And now quickly 0-2 on Castellanos. One and 2.
The one thing that Castellanos cannot do here on the 1-2 pitch, and that's look for a breaking ball, because he will not be able to hit the fastball.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
It's okay to look for an off-speed pitch early in the count, but it is difficult to do when there are 2 strikes on you. Going with that curveball again.
And he got him on strikes, and Castellanos disagrees with James Hoy. Thought it was up. Not going to matter, though. Let's go to the bottom of the 9th. Tigers up 4-1. America Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. By Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Last call now for the Orioles. We are going to the bottom of the ninth. The Tigers closer is on. That would be Joe Nathan.
And Joe Nathan pitching in his 14th game. He's already converted 7 saves and 9 opportunities. The ERA sits at 4.26. That's because Nathan kind of got off to a sluggish start, but the ERA continues to inch its way down.
Tigers 3 outs away from winning their 22nd game of the season to go back 10 over 500. But they'll have to get Cruz, Hardy, and Clevenger here. And career against Nathan, pretty good numbers. 3 for 7 for Nelson Cruz. Cruz is 0 for 3 in this game. And he swings to the first pitch and hits it high to center field. Austin Jackson, 1 pitch, 1 out. There's J.J. Hardy. He's faced Nathan just a few times, 0 for 4 against him. And Hardy 1 for 3 in this game, single run scored. Strike called on the outer edge, 0-1. Make it 0-2. Nathan looking for his 8th save. Bounce again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It was Hardy that singled with 2 outs back in the second, doubled in by Clevenger. And that has been it tonight for the Orioles to this point. Their only run. Tigers got 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 8th. Here's the 1-2. Pulled on the ground to short. Romine has it there. 2 up, 2 down. Right now we check in with John Keating.
Well, Mario, we mentioned Tigers Live. It's coming to you from the Call Sam Studios, and tonight it's going to be sort of a rib joint. We'll talk of the pitch that got Torrey Hunter. We'll talk of the pitch that Ian Kinsler sent into the left field bleachers and turned into a souvenir and turned this game into a 4-1 Tiger lead. And what's up with Rick Porcello? All those questions answered immediately after the game from the Call Sam Studios on Tigers Live. Gentlemen.
All right, Keats, thanks. We are 1 out away from that. And the guy standing in the way is Clevenger, who's had a big night. 3 hits, 2 doubles, and he pops it up in the air to left field. Should do it. Davis, and the Tigers win game 1. Rick Porcello outstanding tonight. Kinsler hits a big 2-run shot. Nathan closes it down, and a good way to start the road trip.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it is Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Big knock for Ian Kinsler. It came at a special moment. It came in the top half of the 8th inning after Avila was walked. 2 were out, and that was a huge blow-off. Bud Norris, their starter, who pitched a pretty good game against the top offense in the American League.
So the Tigers start the road trip with a win here tonight in Baltimore. 4-1 your final score. Back with more from Oriole Park at Camden Yards.